Hello world, this is Wolfstar Games, it's Anton, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes Elite. Last time we read the 6th Kimijima report, and there was some interesting stuff going on in that report, as well as it being a little personal. And then Airi wanted to go back home, so with her guidance, we led her back to her and Kimijima Ko's home. So this should be rather interesting coming up here. After walking along an awful mountain road, we finally came across some ruins. It's been neglected. The house stands alone in the woods, likely abandoned some 10 years ago. I guess the forest is reclaiming it. Reclaiming it, that's an interesting thing to say. The surrounding area is covered in trees and weeds, making it hard to even reach the entrance. The windows are broken, and there are plants and vines growing all over the walls.
こりゃ完全に廃墟だね。
With Kimijima Ko dead, there was probably nobody left to maintain the place. Yeah.
それにしても、こんな山奥に一人で住んでたわけ？
Alone with Airi?
まるで仙人だな。
A mountain hermit? Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
ちなみに愛梨ちゃん、君島こうが殺された場所ってここだったりする？
違いますよ。
No. Okay, I was wondering maybe if he was, but no. Where was he murdered then? I'm relieved to hear that. I honestly don't have the guts to set foot into a place where a person was killed. It's like, where was he murdered then? Just kind of wonder. I wonder if Airi witnessed it. I'm guessing so.
ほんで、ここに帰ってきて何をするつもり？
Yeah, it's like, why did you want to come back here, Airi?
消えるまでここで過ごそうと思います。
Oh. It's like, I don't want you to disappear, Airi. I mean, even if she is real, if she does wind up disappearing, that would make me very sad.
So?
I figured she was acting strange because of a bug, but it looks like she has some awareness that today might be her last. I mean, maybe. We don't really know that for sure. She's seeming more and more human. I mean, it just kind of hit me. With Airi seeming more and more human to Kaito, she mentioned that she had an incurable illness. What if, with her having that illness, that what we see before us in IRUO is an AR skin of Airi? That could be a possibility as well, I guess. And maybe that's what they're actually going for now that I think about it. I mean, we're working on having an AR skin of Gunvarel to use over a physical representation of Gunvarel, so that could be it. Now that I'm thinking about it more. If this is a part of her programming, Kimijima Ko really was brilliant. And well, yeah. I mean, he's the one who created Airi.
で、ちょっと待った。
What's wrong, Kaito?
消えるまでここにいるなら俺も付き合わなくちゃいけないじゃないか。
はい、一緒に天気予報をチェックしましょう。
Let's do that.
マジか。
It doesn't even take 10 minutes to check the weather report for every region of Japan. IRUO maintenance starts at midnight. We have over half a day left. Is she legit telling me to stick around on this stupidly cold winter day?
俺のポケコンにダウンロードした君島レポートさ、どれか一つでもここに置いていけば、アイリちゃんはずっとここにいられるでしょ?
I'm not sure about that.
それでもいいです。
Wait, that will work?
お兄ちゃんの好きなようにしてください。
I mean, if that will work, then let's do that.
じゃあ
I figured I'd stick the AR annotation here and get going, but... Aww, it's like Airi just standing in the center of the forest there and looking up at the sky. It's like, oh. It's like she really is breaking my heart. It's like just... She's so sweet that I just can't help but feel that I'm just a complete gooey puddle of a mess when it comes to anything Airi. Airi's spacing out, standing around in the overgrown weeds. Lately, I see her like this a lot. The expression she's making while staring up at the sky through the tiny gap in the trees, like she's praying. I don't really understand why, but she looks like she could start crying at any moment. Oh.
まったく。そもそも女の子の見た目をしてるってのが卑怯だよね。
I mean, she is a young girl. I mean, we don't really know her age, but she's definitely young. Kimijima Ko knew exactly what he was doing. Goddamn lolicon. Well, it may be cold, but the time will fly by if I play Kill Ballad. There you go. Though I'm pretty sure it's going to be creepy at night. Isn't there anything that we can do for Airi? Whatever. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. More importantly, I should peek inside while it's still bright out. Why? The hell if I know. If I had to say, I guess I want to know a little more about Kimijima Ko's nature as a person. Yeah, and I would want to know that too, if I'm being honest. It's pretty messy in here. Yeah, it's so run down and so dilapidated. How do houses become so unlivable after just a few years? I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, the house I lived in most of my life started out like this. Kind of. I mean, the way I like to put it is that I grew up in a construction zone because my dad and my mom bought a house in this condition and fixed it up. If you keep the windows shut tight, shouldn't things stay clean?
ちょっとした謎だよね。は?
It is kind of a mystery, yeah. Wait, this is... Isn't this the same room as the one in that picture from Gunvarel's last episode? It is! Yes, it is! Now that he mentions it... And the what was it? The letter was right above where the bed is. And what is that, a heater? Right where the heater and bed is, right there. I wonder if we were to like scrub that part of the wall there, if we would find a letter. I just wonder. Let me take a few pics. There you go. Either clean the wall or look through IRUO at the wall there. And maybe that bee will show up. I turn and look all the way around. The room is about 8 tatami mats in size. Okay, I'm not really familiar with tatami mats, but okay. It honestly feels nothing like the average living room of a house. If anything, it's sort of like a hospital room, or maybe an isolation cell in a nice prison. I'm not sure about that. That's the conclusion I've come to, considering there's barely any furniture in the room. Not so comfy. Well, of course it wouldn't be so comfy with it being in the condition that it's in. The bed is a cheap and plain pipe bed, and there are medicine bottles strewn across the floor. Did Kimijima Ko really live here? Apparently, according to Airi. I can't even imagine what kind of life he lived. I'd imagine a much more simple life than he did before coming here.
マスターは仕事以外の時はいつもベッドの上から動きませんでした。
Okay, so we're looking through IRUO here, but there's no letter on the wall. I was hoping there would be. He would never leave the bed? Why? Airi says cheerfully as she comes strolling into the room.
ベッドの上でご飯を食べて、愛理とお話しして、本を読んで、そのうち寝ました。
I mean, he wasn't an invalid. Right? I mean, why did he isolate himself in bed?
部屋の中なのに認識できるわけ?
Yeah, she can't see anything when she's inside a building, but she can see everything in this room? That's a little curious.
この家は特別です。愛理の生まれた場所なので。
That's why she can see the inside here?
あ、と言っても、アイリの目にはこの家は9年前と変わらず綺麗なままなんですけど。
Okay, she's not seeing the house as Kaito is seeing it. That's interesting.
今はどんな風になっていますか？
Oh, no, wait. She can't see what the room looks like. If she's asking this, she can't see what it's like now.
廃墟になってる。ボロボロだよ。
そうなんですね。
No, and does that make you sad, Airi? Airi seems saddened by this revelation. Oh.
君のマスターは仕事もここでしてたわけ？
はい、そうです。ずっとこの家にこもっていました。
Always. So, if he shut himself away in this house, how did he wind up meeting Misane? Did she stumble across this house herself? Because I don't think it would have been through Airi that Misane would have found this place.
食事ぐらいは買いに出てたんじゃないの？
Yeah.
食事はアイリが持ってきていました。
You would. Okay.
いや、無理でしょ。
It's like, yeah, it's like, how is she able to bring him food if she was also sick? Also sick? No, wait. But maybe that's why Kimijima was in bed. Maybe he was sick too.
無理ですか？
だって愛梨ちゃんは実体がないじゃないか。
Maybe in this form.
でも、アイリが持ってきていたんですよ。あと、アイリが生まれてからは、たまにミサキも持ってきてくれました。
After she was born. Okay, so would Airi have led Misane here? Or not? I'm trying to think if that would be a possibility. I'm not entirely sure.
ミサネが？
I'd heard that Misane and Airi were pals. And I know that Misane and Kimijima Ko had some level of friendship between them. Yeah, it's like, I want to know exactly how they met. But I still don't know the details of that relationship.
ミサネと君島コってどんな話してたんだっけ？
I've asked this question before, but there's no harm in checking again.
ミサキはアイリとたくさんお話ししました。マスターはおしゃべりはあんまり好きじゃなかったです。
He didn't.
マスターとミサキはたまにしか話しませんでした。
The same answer as before, huh?
部屋は他にあるのかな？
I just want to look real quick. Go back into IRUO. It's like, hi, Airi. It's like, seeing that this is a new location. Well, I also should have brought up IRUO while I was outside, too. Nothing to click on, though, for a geotag. This is a combined bedroom and living room. Oh. It is? Whoops. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle. But okay, I'll believe you, Kaito. There's a door further in. Past it is a kitchen and bathroom. There's something else curious about the house. A hatch. There's a square cover of some sort attached to the dirty floor. Where does this lead? Like to some underground facility? I mean, we read about some underground, facility of some sort from reading the Kimijima reports. Would this be one of them? Or is this just lead to a Kimijima's lab or something? If he has a lab. It has a handle, so I try grabbing and lifting it. And it was that easy. Okay. I thought it might be an underground storage space. But it's more than that, right? But it's not. Instead, there's a set of stairs leading into a dark abyss.
地下室?
Considering he didn't even try to hide it, it must be a storage basement.
下はマスターの仕事場です。
His workspace? His lab? Airi explains as she peers at the stairs leading underground.
仕事場が地下にあったわけ? かなり暗いけど。
窓も何もないです。電気はつきますよ。
Who knows if they work now, though? Doesn't hurt to try.
その方が集中できるってマスターは言ってました。
Why is that? How is it that he focused better with his work being located underground? His workspace, huh? The genius, Kimijima Ko. Developer of IRUO, creator of Airi, author of the Kimijima reports. This is where he worked.
君島レポートナンバー7の隠し場所について手がかりがあったりしないかな?
Maybe.
さあ。
I'm not expecting much. Yeah, I'm kind of right there with Kaito. Kimijima Ko was murdered. It's only natural to think that his killers came here and scoured through his basement. I mean, maybe, yeah. If he was the type to slip up and leave a hint, the reports would have been buried by the committee's assassins by now. I think he would be smarter than that. But hey, I might as well check, just in case. Yeah, doesn't hurt. I've got time to kill. Plus, I might learn something about who Kimijima Ko was as a person.
愛理ちゃんついてこられる?
If she can.
はい、行けますよ。
Okay, she can. Good. Considering how bugged out she is, she's doing pretty okay right now. Well, that's good. Riding that momentum, I steel myself and slide my body through the square hole. I use my phone droid as a flashlight while descending the stairs. Footsteps are kind of echoey. quickly reach the bottom. I hold up my phone droid for light. There you go, that works. Right in front of me. There's a door. And what's behind door number 1?
これって
I remember this. No, not quite. I don't remember this. To be more accurate, I recall seeing a door that looked very much like this before. Oh, at Uchigaka Park, right? That hidden door that led to a like a radio communication device. That's right, on the first floor of the local hall in Uchigaka Park. Yeah, I was remembering correctly. The electronic lock is the same too. Okay, so if I remember correctly, there was a specific password to unlock this door. Does the same password work here? I'm guessing so. Which means I try inputting the password. I still remember it, clear as day. That's good. Hidden hand. That's right, I was trying to remember the password.
開いた
Could another one of those suspicious machines be inside? Very well could be.
アイリちゃんこの中入ったことある
はい、ありますよ。
She has, okay.
アイリがいるんです。
What? You're in there? What exactly am I gonna find? Her words go in one ear and right out the other. Not that it ultimately mattered. The moment I open the door, I immediately recognize what's in front of me. There's something in the center of the room. It's slightly tilted and about 2 meters in length. This is the same kind of machine, isn't it? Let me look around here, if I can. Very much? Not very much. Nothing to really look at. Is that like a computer screen? It looks like a coffin. Is the real Airi in there? But I quickly confirm that that's not the case. It's too mechanical after all. Plus, I can hear a low humming coming from it, kind of like an animal's growl. This has got to be some kind of electronic device. But despite understanding that from a rational perspective, my actual feelings say otherwise. Yet for some reason, when I discover a button on the surface of the coffin, I can't help but reach out to it. The cover of the coffin slowly slides away. That is Airi. Aww. Revealed is a glass window through which I can see the face of a young girl.
アイリ
Yeah. So with her being in this machine, she doesn't have any control over the Airi in IRUO. So Airi in IRUO is essentially a different Airi. There can't be a person in here. But there is. I refuse to accept that reality. It can't be. It's like she must be in there because of her incurable illness. So what? Is this machine keeping her alive? That's why my brain keeps desperately telling me that this is just a coffin. But that's quite the opposite, isn't it? But it's impossible. No matter how much I try to fool myself, it's not working. And even if this was a coffin, hell, especially if it's a coffin, there's no way it would be left in the basement of a ruined building like this. But it was. Either way, this room is far from ordinary. Calm down. Take deep breaths. Don't panic. It's just like the room in the local hall. Except we didn't find a body. I've experienced a weird situation like this before. I can get through it again. Believe in yourself. I keep repeating to myself over and over again. I once more shift my gaze to the coffin and the girl sleeping inside of it. I can't determine whether she's sleeping or dead. I don't think she's dead. And I can't explain why, for a moment, I thought she was Airi. But it is. There's no color to her face. She's paler than porcelain. I mean, Airi is quite pale. She has very light skin. Light-colored, I should say. But her eyes are shut with a tranquil expression on her face. She has not a scratch on her. If anything, she's actually quite beautiful. Yes, she is. It's easy to imagine her opening her eyes and being a proper, lovely young lady. Before I realize it, I have goosebumps all over my body. I'm shivering from the cold. It's not from my confusion. Well, maybe part of it is. But this room is cold, like really cold. It's almost as if cold air is seeping in through the floor. I'm dressed warmly and it's still bugging me. This isn't natural. This room is being artificially cooled. The electricity is in this room. Just like the one in the local hall. So who's been fronting the bill? If I had to guess Kimijima, he has to be still alive. I already know the answer to that question. That or it's Misane, since she's also been here. It's obviously Taiyo Development, the same folks who bought the local hall and pay for its bill. I forgot about this development company.
これはなんだよ。
It is kind of hard to wrap your head around it. The basement is filled with more oddness than even the local hall's room. coffin-like device is connected to what seems to be a giant control unit. There's an old desk and pipe chair. But there's nothing on said desk. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, with Airi being in this machine and with how cold it is in the room, I want to equate this with how in, Batman, the different iterations of Batman, how Mr. Freeze keeps his wife Nora alive. And, she had like an illness, so maybe the same thing is going on here with Airi. That Kimijima is keeping Airi alive in here. So that's something to think about. And I feel like that's what they're going with. However, there is the trace of something that used to be here. Did Kimijima Ko dispose of it himself? Maybe.
アイリー、これは何なんだ?
I call out to her. My eyes dart around, looking for the AR girl. Nowhere to be seen. Maybe she can't be in here.
アイリー!
I can't find her, even though she was right behind me a moment ago. I point my phone droid every which way. Nothing, though. Desperately looking for a sign of Airi. I see something drift past my screen. Airi had slipped past my side. She leans against the coffin. Oh. Then she rubs her cheek against it affectionately. Aww.
久々に会えました。
何? お
What is she saying?
あのさ、説明してくれると嬉しいんだけど。
So would I.
本当、いちいちこっちの想像の斜め上を行かれると困るっていうか、説明してくれ。
I hope she can.
頼むから。
I can't move. This coffin. It keeps calling it a coffin. It's not a coffin. It's too terrifying. I'm at a loss. All I can do is seek an answer from Airi. As for her reply,
この子は
no, I can't.
アイリですよ。
Okay. That's what she means. It's like, I got that just from looking at her. Airi says her own name like it's the most obvious thing in the world. She then adds,
雪船アイリ。アイリのオリジナルです。
Yukifune Airi. Yeah, that was the last name that I found out about her original. Oh. I'll never get well. That's what I was told. My illness isn't life-threatening, but it'll torment me for life. That's what the doctors told me. After I was diagnosed, I couldn't go to school anymore. I spent every day of my life in my room. It was easy enough to convince myself that I couldn't do anything about the pain. Oh. But it was too much to watch my illness torment Mom and Dad. I felt guilty. Oh. I just wanted to disappear. The only real enjoyment I had was watching the next day's weather forecast. She enjoys watching the weather forecast. So that's another reason why Airi is always telling us the weather forecast. Watching and believing that maybe this would be the year I'd witness a miracle. A white Christmas Eve. On her birthday. Maybe, just maybe, if it could snow on Christmas Eve, eventually my incurable illness could be cured. Okay, how exactly? That's why I'd endlessly check the weather forecast all day long, and then I'd sigh to myself. Oh. This is Kimijima Ko. Boy, he is a very, he's very thin, isn't he? He has a very long face. And also very long hair, by the looks of it. Kimijima Ko was a strange man who had recently moved close. Oh. I say close, but he lived about 1 kilometer into the forest. That's how he came to know her, because he lived close by. At first, all we'd do was exchange a word or two when Kimijima-san walked past my house. But somehow, Kimijima-san learned of my illness and gave me a wonderful present one day. And a way to keep her alive. It was the alpha version of IRUO, an app that he was developing at the time. I felt like I was traveling all over the world. And he included into IRUO an AR version of Airi. Is that it? I still remember how much fun I had getting to see that wonderful app. After that, on days when I felt okay, I'd often go and visit Kimijima-san's house. Kimijima-san didn't take good care of himself, so sometimes he wouldn't eat for days if I left him alone. And she would bring him food. Which is why I'd always bring him food when I came by. Yeah. Oh, what a sweet girl Airi is. While he ate, we'd talk about all kinds of things. Kimijima-san was what you could call an inventor. Yeah. He said he had created all kinds of things. Aside from IRUO and AR Airi. Yeah. I don't know if he was telling the truth, but he even said he might be able to build a time machine. Time machine, huh? Interesting.
だったら、この島でクリスマスイブに雪を降らせることはできますか？
That's one thing he was unable to do for her. When I tried asking, I recall a troubled smile crossing Kimijima-san's face.
天候制御装置か。さすがにそれはちょっと難しいかもしれないな。
You finally get to hear his voice. The fact that this is the same voice actor who voices Sephiroth in Japanese and Mitsurugi from Soul Calibur, it's just amazing how much the Japanese voice actors have over their voice in terms of how flexible their voice can be given to any given character that they voice. A time machine sure seems like it would be more difficult. Yeah, but within another series, it is possible. When I said that to him, he simply laughed and said I might be right. I had never left Tanegashima. When I told him that I wanted to try traveling around the world, Kimijima-san created a model that looked just like me, then put it into IRUO. Okay, I was thinking about it right. An Airi, an AR skin of her. He really is a genius. To be able to do that with a, modeling an AR skin after the real Airi. Oh my god. I could see myself walking down the streets of faraway foreign lands. Seeing myself in the world of IRUO helped me forget reality. I was so happy, but it was just an illusion. It wasn't really an illusion. In reality, I would never be cured of my illness. Right, unfortunately. It was so painful. It also tormented my parents who had to care for me 24 hours a day. I felt so guilty that eventually I wanted to die. Ugh. It's like, don't think that, Airi. Yet despite all of this, we somehow just barely managed to function as a family. I mean, it's always difficult for a family who has to care for someone who has, a terminal illness. Not just a terminal illness, but also a disability as well. A physical one. It's like I know it can get very hard. When I was growing up for a good part of my life, my grandmother, my dad's mom, lived with us because she was wheelchair bound. So I can understand how it feels. But such a tightly drawn string can snap at even the slightest thing. A strange thing happened around October of that year. Dad stopped coming home. He disappeared from the island altogether. Wait. Whatever happened to her parents? I mean, her father disappeared. It's like, so he's still around, isn't he? Somewhere? As far as her mom goes, it's like, I don't know. What was it? She died, right? I'm trying to remember, and I'm having difficulty remembering what exactly happened with her mom. It didn't take long for everything else to collapse. Mom had to care for me alone, but she was never a particularly strong person. Right, we knew that she had to care for her daughter alone. But is she still around? About a month after Dad disappeared, under too much pressure, Mom tried to strangle me. I could clearly feel her intent to kill me. While I was scared, I also thought it'd be okay to die if that'd free Mom. Oh, wow. But in the end, she released her hands from my neck and started crying and apologizing. It's like she couldn't do it. I wished from the bottom of my heart. I wished that I'd just disappear, to be gone from that place, and free Mom from the curse that was me. You're not a curse, Airi. You're not. And then I saw the weekly weather forecast. It would be bright and sunny on Christmas Eve. It was then that I gave up, convinced that miracles didn't exist. I'm gonna be a complete mess here, I feel. I headed straight for Kimijima-san's house and asked him to erase me from the world. Wow. I know it was wrong to ask him for that. What did he say? But Kimijima-san was the only other person I could rely on. If he could invent anything, maybe he could make something that would grant my wish. And when he heard that, Kimijima-san began to cry. Cry.
アイリー、君の願いを叶える方法を僕は知ってる。
He did? He knew how to grant her wish? Yeah, look how long his hair is. It's like that's longer than my hair, I think. My hair is pretty long. I mean when my hair isn't tied back, you know, it's like about halfway down my back.
その方法を知ってるけど、でもそれはとても危険なことなんだ。
Dangerous. Like how dangerous are we talking?
それに、ある意味その方法に頼ることは逃避でもあるんだよ。今生きているこの瞬間から逃げることになってしまうんだ。
Yeah, it's like that is what she's trying to do.
君はまだ若い。これから辛いことは続くかもしれないけど、楽しいことだって いっぱいあるに違いないんだ。
Yeah. Yeah.
僕がこれから提示する方法は辛さから逃れられるかもしれないけど、楽しみも失ってしまうかもしれないよ。
I mean, he's completely right.
それにね、何よりも残されたお母さんはきっと君がいなくなったらとても悲しむだろう。
Yeah.
だからアイリー、そんな寂しいことを僕に言わないでほしい。
Even then, I just wanted to free Mom from the burden that was me. You're not a burden, Airi. She sacrificed 14 years of her life to take care of my frail body. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to remember. Has Airi had this incurable illness all her life? Or did she contract it, sometime when she was a child? Because I feel like with her saying that her mom sacrificed 14 years of her life to take care of her daughter, that Airi would be 14 years old, give or take. And that gives me a little bit of an idea of how old the real Airi is. I wanted to finally give her relief. Shortly after our conversation, Kimijima-san led me to his basement. There was something resembling a coffin in the room. Why do they keep referring it to a coffin? As a coffin.
君はこれから何十年も眠り続けることになるだろう。
For decades. Okay. We're getting a lot of CGs here. Kimijima looks so frail in this CG. I mean, granted, we did get from Airi that he doesn't take very good care of himself. Okay, so we know that Airi has been sleeping here for at least a decade. Has she aged at all? Kimijima-san gently explains.
目が覚めたら、そこはお母さんがいない世界だ。君の病気を治せることができるようになっている時代なんだよ。
Interesting thing for him to say. It'll be an era where your illness can be cured? Like far, far into the future where medical advancements has taken the world by storm, and those advancements are able to cure an incurable illness. Okay. I kind of feel like he's spinning a little bit of a yarn here. Like he's told her a little white lie.
君は今の君の年齢のまま目覚めることになる。
Okay. So she has not aged since she was put into that machine.
もしかしたら僕ももういなくなってるかもしれない。
More like murdered, right?
ずっと未来へと 君は時をかけるんだ。眠っている間、寂しいだろうから、君に夢を見せてあげよう。
Show you a dream. What kind of dream exactly?
イルオの中をまるで庭のように自由に歩き回れるようにしておくね。
Okay, that makes it sound like she does have a little control over Airi.
今はまだあまりイルオの世界は広くはないけど、
Yet. That's the operative world. Wait. The world of IRUO. In the sixth Kimijima report, he said that he was not part of the world anymore. Did he put himself into IRUO? Like, at least like an AR version of him? I just wonder.
正式サービスが始まればきっと劇的に広がる。雪が降っているのを見るのは難しいかもしれないけど、それはいつか君が再び目覚めて病気が治った時のお楽しみにとっておけばいい。
If it can be cured at all in the future.
おやすみ、眠り姫。
Sleeping Beauty. Airi just needs her prince to come along and kiss her to wake her up, right?
いい夢を。
おやすみなさい。ありがとう。
Thank you. Or arigato, Kimijima-san. For listening to the wish of someone like me. I hope Kimijima-san is still there when I wake up, even if he's become an old man. I mean, he's presumably dead. I guess we'll find out if he's alive or dead for sure. Probably not in this route. Probably in the last route, I'm guessing. And with that, my whole world was engulfed in white. Oh man. That was getting to me. Oy. I take one step back, then another. With each step, I kick some dust into the air. The surface of the device that Airi is pretending to rub her cheek against is also coated in dust. Okay, so I was actually kind of right in my original assessment that AR Airi is based off of someone real, off her original self. So, with the IRUO update, since AR Airi is part of that system, she is going to be deleted. And that makes me very sad. Oh. Is there any way to keep her around? I don't know what would happen if we were to open up this machine and, let the real Airi out. Of what could possibly be the complications of taking her out of there could be, if there are any. As for my candid thoughts following Airi's explanation, it's like something straight out of some manga.
いわゆるコールドスリープ装置と呼ばれているものだそうですよ。
Yes, very much so. Airi makes it sound like she's completely unrelated, but she's not. I tried goggling it. Not Googling it, goggling it. Apparently, said device chills the human body to a slow temperature, slowing cell activity and preserving the body. Yeah, it's like basically what they would do to, people when traveling in space. By doing so, as long as the device is operational, one won't age for decades or even centuries. I feel like this is borrowing from a couple of movies and a couple of other games. Actually, then again, I did bring up Forever Young, the movie Forever Young up before. And yeah, that's also like what's going on here. I mean, Mel Gibson's character gets into this kind of same situation, kind of, and wakes up, fairly far into the future. It's a method of extending the human lifespan far past its limits. You see it a lot in space movies. Yes, as I just kind of mentioned. It's been said that the technology to make it real already exists, but nobody has tried to make it happen. Why not? Because there's no guarantee that the thawing process is safe. If there's no guarantee, then wouldn't it be a safer bet to just let Airi continue sleeping? That makes sense. It'd also explain why nobody's attempted it.
じゃあさ、この装置の中にいる本物の愛梨ちゃんは死んでないってことでいいわけ?
That's right. She is not dead. She's just sleeping. You know, the long sleep.
はい。限りなく死んでいるのに近い状態ではありますけど、蘇生できるはずです。
Revival should be possible. Okay. So maybe there's a glimmer of hope then? That we can keep Airi around? Should be, huh? At a loss, I sit down on the pipe chair nearby.
まさか愛梨ちゃんにオリジナルがいたとはね。
I mean, I just kind of had the feeling that if AR Airi is based off of someone real, that we would eventually come across the real Airi in some capacity, and this is what we're getting here.
愛梨ちゃんってさ、オリジナルの方がコールドスリープする前の経験は情報としてインプットされてるわけ?
I mean, she had to be. I mean, how else would she know that the original Airi contracted an incurable illness, and the fact that the real Airi was all about, checking the weather. So it just seems obvious that she was.
う
いや、最近の意味不明な言動はそれが表に出てたのかなって思ったんだけど。
Saying things about bringing food to Kimijima Ko, for example. That too. Or Airi saying she saw herself.
そもそも君さ、オリジナルのアイリちゃんがコールドスリープに至るまでの出来事、どうしてそこまで詳しく知ってるわけ？
It's like she has the real Airi's memories. Damn, Kimijima really is a genius. I mean, for him to make an AR AI of the real Airi and to make her so lifelike, that's a major accomplishment, I feel. It's like, bravo for creating something so realistic.
Airi wa Airi desu kara.
Because I am Airi. That's not an answer. I mean, it is an answer. It's just not the answer that Kaito was looking for. With that, I give up on her giving me any clarification. I doubt AR Airi. I like how I started calling her that before Kaito did. I doubt AR Airi came up with this story on her own. Yeah. She's only a program. Even if she fabricated a story, that'd be the programmer's will, not AR Airi's will. Which means it's possible that Kimijima Ko programmed her like this. Yeah, he had to have. Yukifune Airi's sincere wish to be put into cold sleep, her feelings, he accurately traced them. Which is freaking amazing. And then he installed them into AR Airi, though I have no idea why he'd do that. To replicate her to the closest thing to the real Airi. I think I'd say that's why. So that she would seem just like the real Airi.
どうしたらいいのやら。
Was finding this machine a good or bad thing? Good thing. It's a good thing. I'm currently sitting in the basement of an abandoned house deep in the forest. With Kimijima Ko dead, I doubt anybody's been here in over 9 years. I actually kind of doubt that. I doubt Kaito's doubt. And in this very basement sleeps a young girl. Who knows when she'll wake up? But one thing is for sure, she's alive. So now that I've found her, what should I do? Good question. I can't just leave Sleeping Beauty here and run off. I mean, he could try giving her just a little kiss and see if she wakes up. Be her prince in a way. But I have no means of waking her up either. And with Kimijima Ko dead, this house is owned by someone else. Even if they've never come to visit it, they're paying the bill. It has to be Misane. This house and cold sleep device belongs to them. I'd be causing problems if I just fiddled with this thing without their permission. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. That's a difficult place to be. That's why I'm at a loss.
そもそも愛梨ちゃんの話が本当だったとして、雪船愛梨の母親は今どこでどうしてるんだろう。
Yeah. Where is Airi's mom? If Yukifune Airi entered cold sleep without telling her mom, she'd be treated as a missing person. Yeah, she would. Did her mother not go to the police? If she did, Kimijima Ko would have been the first person that came up as a suspect. Right, yeah, since he lived close by. And then they would have found this room. Not that I have the slightest clue as to whether putting someone into cold sleep is a crime or not. While Yukifune Airi entered by her own will, she's a minor. Yeah, she is. She doesn't have the ability to consent legally. That'd put Kimijima Ko in a bad place. And if her mom agreed to continue the cold sleep, she would have been moved. Regardless, she has been moved. She'd be at a... No, wait. This is Kimijima Ko's house. Not exactly Airi's house. So she hasn't been moved. She'd be at a proper medical facility. Instead, she's been left in the basement of this abandoned house for 9 years. Without any proper maintenance. Maybe this machine doesn't need maintenance.
マスターは雪船ミキエにありのままの事実を伝えましたよ。
Miki. That's her mother's name.
アイリも一緒に行ったので間違いないです。
Right, because he created Airi before AR Airi, before the real Airi went into the pod. It's like I want to call it a pod and not a coffin, as they're calling it.
ありのまま。
And what is that full story? And her mom agreed. I mean, as much as her mother was having trouble with, looking at her daughter and caring for her daughter, Kimijima Ko basically brought her salvation with this machine. It's like her mom didn't have to care for her anymore. This machine has been doing that for her. If she didn't, she would have left her daughter on ice for 9 years.
その母親は今どこに？
Yeah, where is she now?
わかりません。
I figured she wouldn't know.
わからないだって。
マスターが事実を伝えてからおよそ5ヶ月後に島を出たところまでは把握してるんですよ。
She left the island. Okay, so she is not on Tanegashima anymore. Where is she?
でもその後の足取りは追っていないので。
娘を置いて島を出た。
Because she knew that she was being cared for. After being freed from her daughter, did she decide to run away like the dad? I wouldn't exactly call it running away. Not exactly. I don't want to think this way, but this same lady did try to choke her own daughter to death. But she couldn't do it. With my meager imagination, I can't find a reason why she'd leave the island and not come back even once. But what if she has, though? And Airi just hasn't noticed.
この家の現在の所有者は？
そういう難しいことは愛理には聞かないでほしいです。
That's a hard question for her to answer, huh?
ゲジネなら知ってると思います。
Except we've been unable to talk to Gijene. Because we can't activate her. I flicked my finger against her forehead in response to her absurd suggestions, considering the situation. And all we're gonna do is tickle Airi.
いたた。
Or, no, actually hurt her. Owie. Aw.
やっぱりゲジネーには変わらないじゃないか。
Yeah, no Gijene. The bug is bad news. I can't even ask the questions I want to ask.
オリジナルアイリの不治の病って何だったの？
Yeah, we don't even know what it is. It's been nearly 9 years since she entered cold sleep, so it's possible that we have a treatment for it now. Yeah, maybe. Depending on what it is, I guess. Okay, she... Is that because of the bug, or is it because Airi can't actually say what it is? Whoa. Somehow the name of the illness itself is being blocked. Huh. Okay. So how can we find out then? Maybe out of consideration for the trauma it caused? Maybe. Meh. It's not like my knowing its name would fix things. Maybe it would, though. Alright, Kaito. Calm down and think. If I make the wrong choice here, there may be no turning back. Oh, police lights. Then the ever-present aurora that eerily stains the entire night sky is barely visible due to the red lights. It's already late into the night when I look out the window from the back seat of the police car. Workers continue to go in and out of the ruins that were once Kimijima Ko's home. I almost said house. In the end, after a lot of thinking, I decided to report the whole story to the police. I guess that's what he decided to do, but I don't know if that was really the right decision. In fact, up until a moment ago, I was being questioned in the back of this police car. It took forever. I mean, this would be a big deal. The cold sleep device can't just be removed. If they carelessly cut the power, they risk killing Yukifune Airi. Even then, I just couldn't leave her be. I asked the police to prioritize Yukifune Airi's well-being and to thaw her out in a proper facility somewhere. At least he was thinking ahead. Although I have no idea if they'll listen to my request. I was just the first person to discover her. After 9 years, the police officer who questioned me, Miyamasu-san, said that they understood. I trust them for now. I considered telling them about the Kimijima reports, but they seemed busy enough as it is, so I kept quiet. Yeah, let's not bother them with that. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. And then, eventually, I was let go. I'll leave the rest to the police. If nothing else, this is better than if I were to try and handle things myself. I probably shouldn't dig any deeper into this. I might talk to Airi like she's my pal, but she's not Yukefuni Airi. We're total strangers who have never met before. Technically. This isn't my business. No one would benefit from me poking my nose where I don't belong. If she continues her long sleep, we'll probably never speak to one another. And if she does wake up, I have nothing to offer her. No way of filling the 9-year void in her heart. As the person who found her, this is all I can do for her. Miyamasu-san offered to drive me home, but I have my scooter, so I refused. Also, according to the clock, it's almost 11 at night. Wow, he was there a long time. I only have an hour until Airi vanishes. I call home to tell them that I'm taking a bit of a detour, then hop onto my scooter. It's 10 minutes till midnight by the time I reach Uchagaoka Park. I'm glad I made it in time. I figured I should see her off here, if possible. I never thought I had such a sentimental side to me. When he wants to, he can have a sentimental side to him. I'm sure that's the reason why I've been so fixated on this park since I was a kid. Well, I guess you could call me a weak romanticist in a way. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nobody in the park. Not surprising given the hour, but the silence is almost painful to the ears. During the summer, this whole place would be filled with the sounds of insects, of cicadas. But there's barely any noise now. This sort of silence might be why winter evenings always seem so lonely.
Airi-chan, iru?
I came all the way here on my scooter. Did she manage to follow along? I whip out my phone droid and look for her. Airi? You okay, sweetie? There she is, right next to me. She's looking up at the night sky again, almost like she's praying. And waiting for snow to fall? Up in the sky, we can see the stars. We can see the aurora. Is it just me, or is it more active than usual? The aurora?
鹿児島県種子島屋久島地方、明日の天気予報をお伝えします。
As always, Airi starts indifferently reading the weather forecast aloud. But she has to.
明日は晴れでしょう。降水確率は 0% です。
Then Airi looks at me. She smiles sadly. Aww.
明日は晴れですね。今日の夜も晴れです。雪は降らないみたいです。
You okay with that, Airi? Are you okay with it not snowing?
そりゃ残念だったね。
ちょっとだけ期待したんですけど。
But alas. Even if it happened to snow, Airi wouldn't be able to see it with her own eyes. But I don't think that matters. A white Christmas Eve on Tanegashima. That miracle in and of itself is what's important to her. The most important, yes.
やっぱりもっとちゃんとお願いしておくべきでした。
誰に？
マスターに。
So he wouldn't have been able to make it snow. I'm sorry, Airi.
マスターなら何でもできます。何でも作っちゃうんです。
Maybe Kimijima could have made like some kind of machine that could make artificial snow for her. I mean, even if it's like not real snow, maybe even just something as simple as that could have made Airi happy.
雪を降らせる装置だってきっと。
I swear, sometimes I feel like I'm psychic. A cold sleep device and a weather control device. I mean, he is a genius. I'm sure they're both complicated in their own ways. Very much so. I hear they have machines that artificially create snow for ski resorts up north. But it's not the same thing. Plus, it'd cost a fortune to ship one of those to Tanegashima.
でも、アイリはとってもいい夢が見られました。最初は美咲がお話し相手になってくれましたし。
But towards the end?
それからしばらくはずっと一人ぼっちでしたけど。
But what?
お兄ちゃんに会えて、またいろいろお話できたので嬉しかったです。
Well, I'm glad I could fill that gap, Airi.
できることならもう一度美咲に会いたかったんですけど。
I mean, maybe we can make that possible.
アイリを置いていったままちっとも戻ってこないので、アイリはおかんまりです。
あ、そう。っていうかさ、そういうこれが最後みたいな感じで話すのをやめてくれない？
Except it is the end of the road. We have like less than an hour.
アイリちゃんは消えない可能性だってまだ残ってるでしょうが。
I mean, he's trying to keep positive, but given what the Frau told us,
そうですね。でも雪は降らないので奇跡は起こらないと思います。
I didn't expect her to be such a realist right now. But maybe it's because she spent so much time longing for something out of her reach.
アイリちゃんってこの島から出たことないの？
I mean, she said that she hasn't.
ありますよ。
Oh. Okay, maybe not the real Airi, but AR Airi has?
あるの？でも、アイリちゃんが窓として使ってる君島レポートってこの島にしかないんでしょ？
Right. And that's something I completely forgot about. And I was reminded of that. So, it's like, I'm glad they brought it back up here as well.
はい、この島からは出られません。
Right. So, how is it that you've been able to leave then? Our conversation isn't matching up again. I'll just chalk it up to her bugging out.
だったら、あと2ヶ月ぐらい待てば、俺がお台場に連れてってあげたのに。
お台場、東京ですね。
The Kimijima reports have been downloaded to my phone droid, so Airi can appear wherever I go. Yeah, it's like that makes perfect sense.
例えば、他に行ってみたい場所とかある？
気象庁。
JMA? What's that?
なんだって？
気象庁に行きたいです。
Oh. She wants to be a little meteorologist.
天気予報の現場を見てみたいんです。
そんなに天気予報が好きだったのか。
She does.
はい、眺めてるだけで楽しいですから。好きなお天気お姉さんは吉住です。
Yoshizumi. He's not a girl. He's an old dude. Are the bugs messing with her again? Plus, didn't he retire ages ago? Oh, did he?
世界中に天気予報はあるでしょ？あるところでは猛暑で、同じ瞬間に別のところでは大雪が降っているんです。アイリは雨が降ったり雪が降ったりするのを見られないので、
She can't see things like rain or snow. So if it does rain or snow, she won't know that it's happening. But she'll know it's happening by looking at the weather.
そういう天候の変化を天気予報を通して知るんです。
Right.
そのデータを分析すると、そこに実際に行ったような気分になります。
That's probably what she meant when she said she had left the island. Okay. Airi's been traveling across the world this whole time, in her own way. Huh. She got her wish.
お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃん。
Yes, Airi? Airi gets a little excited and starts making something of a fuss.
なに？君のオリジナルのことが心配？
いいえ、心配はしていないです。おまわりさんはしっかりしてますから。
Really? It's like, huh. Well, maybe Kaito did the right thing then, by calling the police.
じゃあ何？
メリークリスマスイブ。
Just- Merry Christmas Eve to you too, Airi. She's such a sweetheart.
Huh?
That's impossible. I shouldn't be able to hear her voice. Why? Airi was supposed to go into maintenance at midnight on the 24th. I checked my watch. It's 001 a.m. on the 24th. And Airi's still around? A minute past the planned time. I mean, sometimes maintenance updates are scheduled a little later than projected. So, yet both IRUO and Airi are perfectly functional, as usual.
遅れてるのかな。
ゲジネーならすぐに情報を集めてくれますよ。
If we can talk to her. And then merrily thrusts her forehead toward me. It's like I'm just picturing that. It's like,
ゲジネーに変われるようになったわけ？
as of late, I've had zero luck with this. I give it a shot and tap on Airi's forehead.
おー
Nothing.
くすぐったい。
やっぱりダメじゃないの。
I'm an idiot for getting my hopes up. Baka.
お兄ちゃんはいつも愛梨のおでこをさすりますね。
Well, that's where I know where to touch to activate Geisha Day.
ほっぺたとか顎とか口とかを触ってもいいのに、どうしていつもおでこなんですか？
On the cheek, chin, or mouth? I don't know. I feel like the forehead is just the perfect spot. It's like cheek, chin. Okay, maybe. The mouth, no.
おでこが好きなんですか？
Yes, Kaito has a thing for foreheads. Especially if the person's bald, right?
一番タップしやすいからだよ。
Yeah.
それだけだとしたらあんまり面白い答えじゃないです。
How did she want him to answer?
愛梨はおでこをなでなでされるのは好きなので、くすぐったくても我慢しています。
Rubbed. She likes her forehead rubbed, okay?
あんまり我慢できてるようには見えないけどね。
I mean, she seems to honestly, like it. I mean, it tickles her every time, and she doesn't complain. But that's not important right now. The date's changed over, but maintenance hasn't started. Has it been delayed? I mean, if it's been delayed, it's probably hasn't been delayed for very long. On Tweepo, Frau is writing about how IRUO maintenance has been delayed by an hour. Oh. I head to Happiness for You's official site, only to find that they've indeed announced a 1-hour delay. Okay, so they have until 1 o'clock then. Frau's info is accurate.
1時間か。
I have some unexpected free time.
ホワイトクリスマスイブにキスをすると恋が実るって吉住が前に言ってました。
Oh, it's like Airi is a little romantic. She sure does like Yoshizumi. Also, wow, despite his age, he was quite the romantic, huh? Doesn't matter how old you are to be a romantic. It's like, come on, Kaito.
どうせなら愛理はおでこにチュッてされるのがいいです。
Well, I hope I can kiss you on the forehead then.
相手は？
ちょうどタイミングよく目の前にお兄ちゃんが。
I knew she would say that that Kaito would be the one.
それってつまり誰でもいいってことじゃないか。
And how exactly would I go about kissing AR Airi?
そもそも雪が降ってないから恋は実らないね。
お兄ちゃんは恋をしていますか？
I mean, he isn't, but he could be.
さあ、どうだろ
That's your answer?
はぐらかすのはずるいです。
Boo.
う。そういう愛理ちゃんはどうなの？
I mean, she's younger than him. It's like, what's the youngest that Japanese girls can date?
愛理はしていないです。そういうプログラムは存在しないので。
Okay, so that's one thing that Kimijima Ko didn't program into her.
でも女の子なのでそういうのに興味はあります。
I guess that's fair. She is?
ずいぶんおませだね。
降ったらしてください。
Mm. It's like, but now I am considering what Kaito said. It's like, how would we go about kissing an AR ID?
奇跡が起きたらその記念にキスしてくださいね。
I mean, I guess he could kiss his phone droid's screen. It's like, would that work?
約束です。
It's a promise. Right, Kaito? Once again, Airi looks up at the sky like she's searching for something,
待ってるんだね。
waiting for it to snow.
雪が降るの。
Even though she knows it's impossible. Even with the painful reality of a 0% chance of staring her back in the eyes. She can't help but long for it. That's what the expression on her face tells me. The kiss isn't what matters. But it would add to the moment. And that's what Airi wants. She wants her Christmas miracle for it to snow on Christmas Eve / Christmas, and having her big bro, her Oni-chan, to kiss her on the forehead. That would just add to the moment. So I feel like the kiss does matter. She's just waiting for it to snow, even though she knows she could vanish in an hour. I mean, we have an hour. It could snow before time is up. This AI continues to pray for but one thing. This Airi truly seems like she's alive. It's a fact that Kimijima Ko created her so that the Yukifune Airi could walk around while she slept. And he accomplished that. So she could dream. Okay, so he's saying that this is Yukifune Airi's dream. This version of her in IRUO is her dream. I mean, that's a interesting thing to take away from this, but it's not exactly a dream. However, at the end of the day, a dream is nothing but a dream. A dream is something that your heart makes. And right now, Airi's dream, her heart, is telling her that she wants it to snow and for her Oni-chan to kiss her on the forehead. So, Kaito should just go with it.
No?
Hello? My phone droid begins to ring. Who's calling him this late? Given how quiet it is in the park, the sound startles me. Is it Akiho?
コナちゃんか。こんな時間に何?
Oh, it's Frau. Hi, Frau.
今年のクリスマス中止のお知らせ。
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
アホなこと言うためだけに電話してきたなら切るけど。
待てよ。
What's going on, Frau?
雪を降らせてみませんか。
Interesting that you should ask me that.
どういうこと？
フラウタンが一晩でやってくれました。
Did you come up with something for it to make it snow, Frau?
実際はメンテ開始が遅れたおかげでギリ間に合ったんですけどね。
Oh. Thanks to the maintenance delay, she managed to make it in time. Well, that's fortunate.
医療専用のアプリを自分で作ってみた。
Created an app for IRUO that would make it snow in IRUO? Okay.
ヨシオ先輩も落として使ってみればいいんじゃね。きっとはかどるぞ。じゃあ、アイリタンによろ。
I will say heyo. It's like, heyo, Airi. The end.
どうしたんですか？
Well, you'll find out here, Airi.
さあね、コナちゃんが得体の知れないものを送りつけてくれたみたい。
Something that you'll really like, Airi. In the email from Frau is an address. I download the app located there and install it into IRUO. I have no idea what to expect from this. It's only after I reboot IRUO that the app does its thing. And before my very eyes, it's snowing. Something slowly floats to the ground, reflecting the lights of the aurora off its structure. Off of its structure? No, off of its surface. It's white and soft.
雪？
Yeah. She's right. It's snow. It's not actually falling in reality. No, just an IRUO, but still. That's what matters to Airi. The sky is as clear as it was moments before. The perfectly visible aurora is proof that there are no clouds in the sky from which the snow falls. That sounds very poetic. And yet it's undeniably snowing. Through the screen of my phone droid. Within the 7-inch LED monitor of my phone droid. Powdery snow falls on Tanegashima on Christmas Eve. The snow is just an illusion. It may be an illusion to Kaito, but to Airi, it's just something special. But to Airi's eyes, I'm sure she can see it more clearly than the real thing.
雪ですよ、お兄ちゃん。
Oh, I love how she entered the frame. It's like with a little twirl.
あれにも見えてます。白くてふわふわ。
Airi looks up at the sky and raises her hands like she's trying to catch the snow while spinning in place. Oh.
今日の天気予報は外れでした。
Excitedly and happily. An innocent smile forms on her face. Oh.
改めて今夜の天気予報をお伝えします。
I freaking love that twirl that she's doing.
種子島、屋久島地方は
She spins over and over, and I love it every time. Just like a child, like someone of her age would.
晴れのち雪でしょう。
That's not a forecast. Go with it, Kaito. Come on. That's what's currently happening. I'll have to give Frau a pat on the back later. I think Frau would prefer a kiss. Or actually more than a kiss, I'd say. There's only a little time left before Airi potentially disappears. She should enjoy this moment as much as possible. I'll stick with her until the very end. We've still got a full hour to go. I suppose I can kill some time playing Kill Ballad. No, not this time. Just spend the time with Airi.
お兄ちゃん、
Yes?
ん
On the monitor, Airi timidly walks over to me. For some reason, her cheeks are a little red. She's blushing.
さっき約束しましたよね。
A kiss on the forehead. Yes.
約束
Wait.
キスしろって
Come on, Kaito. You promised her.
はい。おでこにしますか？ほっぺ？それとも唇？
I prefer the forehead. I mean, the cheek is okay, but I'd prefer the forehead, I think.
愛理の第一希望はおでこです。
I prefer your forehead too, Airi.
本気で言ってるの
お兄ちゃんは約束破るんですか？
It's like, come on, Kaito, don't break your promise and make her sad.
せっかく雪は降ったのに。
でもどうしろっていうわけ愛梨ちゃんは実体がないじゃないか
Just kiss your phone droid screen.
それは、えっと、
Airi tilts her head. I guess she didn't consider that. I mean, I guess if she really wants a kiss, there is a way I can kinda sorta fake it. By kissing your screen. Just like how I tap her on the forehead. But if someone sees me, I never recover from it. Yeah, if someone were to see Kaito kissing his phone, they'd be like, what the hell is going on with that guy? This is crossing the line as an actual human. Granted, a pervert like Frau would probably be totally okay with it. Yeah.
うーん。
Like, come on, Kaito. Aidi's still pondering. Instead of thinking of something so inconsequential, she should be enjoying the snow. She is, but she wants that little added moment from her Oni-chan. But you know what? The two of us have been partners for 4 months now. 4 months. Doesn't it seem like it's been longer than that? It just feels that way. And yet I've never really been able to give her anything. Nothing physical, sure. But Kaito can at least emulate a kiss by kissing his screen. I suppose I could suck it up just this once and keep my promise. Thank goodness it's so late. There's pretty much no chance of someone seeing me at this hour.
愛梨ちゃん
はい。
そのまま目を閉じるんだ
どうしてですか？
Come on, don't ask me that.
約束を守るためだよ
Thank you, Kaito.
はい。
Airi obediently closes her eyes. Aww. It's like, she's ready to be kissed. I hold my phone droid up and take a step forward. Airi's face draws near. Another step. Her face is so close that it basically fills the entire screen. Nervous, Kaito? When push comes to shove, this is crazy embarrassing. I'm sure this is someone's kink. I just want to flee from the scene. This is about as embarrassing as when I win a KB match after turning in an awful performance. Plus, Airi looks pretty young, so it even kind of feels like I'm committing a crime. I mean, she's not that much younger than him, right? So, I feel like it's okay.
お兄ちゃん。
It's like she's waiting, Kaito. Come on. Airi whispers, her eyes still closed. She's waiting for me to act. Her whispered words are the push I needed. The go, no-go decision is a go. I aim for Airi's forehead and gently kiss her through the monitor. Say, oh. And then her eyes pop open and just, oh, this look on her face. So adorable. Was that good, Airi?
お兄ちゃん。
I release my lips from the monitor. Aw. Just this image of Airi and the music coming in here is getting to me. The LCD screen was cold. I wipe my lips. I can't even look at Airi directly. What am I doing with this AI? Seriously. Is she crying? Tears fall from Airi's bashful eyes. Why?
お兄ちゃん。
Yes?
アイリは今、なんで泣いているんでしょう。
Because you have emotions just like anyone who's actually living.
悲しいわけじゃないのに、不思議です。
It's a happy cry. That's what it is.
きっとこれもバグですね。
It's no bug. It's no bug, Airi.
それとも、マスターが間違えて変なプログラムを組み込んじゃったんでしょうか。
No, I don't think your master made a mistake, Airi.
だとしたら、そんなうっかりさんなマスターと、このバグを出現させたお兄ちゃんに、ありがとう。
You're welcome, Airi. I don't know how to say you're welcome in Japanese.
アイリのこの気持ちはきっと、アイリにも届くと思います。
And then, 40 minutes later, both Airi and the snow quietly vanish. Only the aurora remains in the sky, continuing to give color to the darkness of the night. Okay, let me pause it there so the beeping stops. Okay, so that was all very, very emotional, and I think I need time to recover for that. I know I'm so. I just know I'm so close to Airi's end here, Airi's route, but I do feel like I need to recover from all this. So I'll stop it here for now. Next time I won't be as emotional. Although we still have a little bit left. So that little bit that's left could wind up making me even more emotional. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. It's like I can hear my voice wavering. Like, and where was I? It's like I'm a little distracted because of how emotional I am right now. Oh my lord. Let me try that again. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.